Was also a pandemic puppy. Good morning and welcome to A1 Vacuum and Sewing's conversation around puppy behavior. Are you coming?
Yeah, I'm coming.
What do we have to talk about today?
I got so much.
The closeout sale. So,
Where's my staff?
Ashley, if you're watching,
You're the winner.
you win. All but your pre-orders are boxed and going out. There were a lot of orders. And so
It's gonna take me a couple of days. So.
I'd say
days.
our goal is to get it done
Middle of
before
next
Jeannie leaves next week.
Yeah.
But I would not set any greater expectations because at the same time we're still working through hoops. We've also been very busy with everything going on with sergers. Let's talk used sergers. I now have a used Vibrant, $180. If somebody's looking for a really inexpensive serger, I will do it for
I'm not
$180. Looks like we have sound. Is anybody else not hearing us?
April, did you see my email? Shelly, I didn't call you this morning because I think you talked to Patrick.
Well, you can call us at your convenience.
Yeah.
Missed the Kimberbell sale. Couldn't find it. It's on the promotions page.
I think it's the very first thing.
And if you look up close out, it's there.
I spelled it in 2 words.
Close out, not. It's supposed to be one
what,
word.
You know what Patrick did last night? He's like, "Oh, I have a video to show you," and I was like, "Oh, okay." We were laying in bed, and we'll watch TV before we
it
go to
came
bed.
up in our YouTube feed.
I'm like, "Why did this come up in our YouTube feed? Have you been searching videos like this?"
No.
And the name of the video was something like people.
When the girl can't pronounce anything. What's the name?
When the girl can't pronounce anything, and it is like a guy and a girl on a date, and she's like, "I'd like you to take you to the Monet exhibit, and then we can eat some quinoa for dinner." And I was like,
and I'll axe around for. It was all New York mispronunciations too.
That's not true.
Because she said escape.
And then I was like, I've said all of those. I said quinoa before. What's quinoa? Because that's what it's spelled like. And so I was like, oh.
I thought it was super funny. And Jeannie's like, have you been searching for?
Because I do.
No,
I
it
say
came up in the feed.
I say all of those things.
It was funny. And then you got mad.
Pronunciation.
What is that? You need.
My stomach just.
Oh my God.
That was so loud.
Wow.
I'm hungry. Feed me, Patrick.
Feed me.
So, yeah, that's what, and you know what? You know what comes up in your YouTube feed? It's like it learns, so it gives you things that you're interested in. How did that just miraculously up in the feed if you weren't searching for stuff?
I wasn't, but we watch a lot of comedians.
We
actually watch a lot of comedians, and it was a comedian's YouTube channel. And
so I'm not the only one. Because I'm not the only one
obviously
that mispronounces
well,
things.
and just think about how mad the guy was, and I'm not like that.
He was like, I hate you. Oh, man. I mean, I grew up with people that mispronounce things in my household. My parents, came here when they were in their 30s, so there's a lot of mispronouncing in our house.
You want the same acai bowl?
Oh, God. Okay, so Miss Farlow, whenever you pick it up is fine. If your machine is as long as you don't leave it here for a month or 2 months, it's totally fine.
It's 60 days.
60 days.
At 60 days, we start calling. it takes us about a month to get to the point where we're like, this thing's abandoned. And you'd be amazed at how many times somebody's like,
2 years later.
It was 2 years ago and I left it here and then I forgot about it and I didn't listen to your messages, but I want it back and now I'm mad.
Yeah, we do get that. We do get that. And Shannon, I love biscuits and gravy. When did I got biscuits and gravy somewhere. Do you remember? Like recently?
I don't know. We should do Pine State.
We're hungry. Are you guys hungry?
We should do Pine State.
Yeah, we have a great restaurant
Sunday.
here that has like biscuits and gravy and like it's so delicious. Good morning, Texas. Yes, Marlene, I emailed you guys this morning and maybe I'm dyslexic. Have you ever thought that? Patrick?
You're dyslexic.
Did I say that wrong?
No, you said it perfect.
Maybe I'm dyslexic.
No, I don't think you're dyslexic. I think you grew up in a house with people who spoke Korean.
Yeah, but you know what? I know other Koreans that grew up in households and they speak perfectly. I think it's my brain. Something's wrong up here. I got a
Sounds
bad
like a
one.
shameful night. Dirty dress to the dry cleaners and forgiveness. What is this?
What are we talking
I don't
about,
know.
Dana?
Is this like
That
one of
sounds
those
like a little
make up
more-
your own story? I could make a great story about that one.
Don't encourage
Back
him.
from the day.
Don't encourage him. Okay. I did want to talk to you about a couple of things. Number one, I am in the process of putting this up. So I got this email yesterday from OESD. So it's not, I think the design's up there, but I'm going to put it on the promotions page. If you don't know, I love tiling scenes. I do every single tiling scene.
Forgetting where your machine is.
Did I forget where my machine was?
No. That was what the sounds like a dirty dress to the dry cleaners comment came from. That's like where you forget where your car is.
You mean like the people that don't show up?
Yeah.
That don't show up for their machines? Yeah. Yeah.
That definitely has a type.
Okay.
That's like waking up in the morning and you're like, did I drive home?
You know, we grew up in the 90s.
Back in the day.
Back in the day when there was no Uber and we made poor choices. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I got up this morning and I got this email from OESD. And if you know me, you know I love tiling scenes. I do every single one that comes out. This is, and their description was
This
really
is like,
amazing too.
like Jeannie showed me this and I was like, oh man.
All right, you can show them.
You know, you know what I love
It's
is
their
I
first-
loved the Mount Hood.
Did he do a Mount Hood one?
No, but you're like Mount Hood.
That
like, I
was
love that.
paper pieced.
I understand that was paper pieced. But like, you know, I like all this stuff is really cute, but like not a lot of it speaks to my heart. But like
I saw
is
this
pretty
and
cool.
I was like, gorgeous. Let me read this to you. Our first ever, this is from OESD, collaboration with Thomas Kincaid Studios. Everett's College is a show-stopping display
Everett's
piece.
what?
Cottage. Patrick, you found that video on purpose. Everett's Cottage is a show-stopping display piece. It measures 25 by 31 and mimics the painterly style. I feel like I'm in school, and you know when the kids take turns reading? Okay, style of Thomas Kincaid with intricate and expertly digitized stitches. Be prepared for the June 2023 release. So this isn't going to be available for you until June 2023. They will be mailing it to us at the end of May, and it's going to be on USB. There is also a thread kit. So what I'm going to put on the site is the design is going to go up at 20%. You're like, show it to me. Oh my goodness. Is that like beautiful? So pretty. Like how much fun is that going to be? Love it. I printed out the whole thing because this is the list of thread colors, which isn't on there. So if you are an Isacord gal and you already have tons of thread colors, I couldn't find this where I could like cut and paste it. So I'll take a picture of it.
Doesn't Shannon, don't you have a 10 needle?
I think this is over it's not over your head. You just
you put the design in and you hit start.
It just tells you what colors. It just tells you the colors. If you're on a multi-needle, you have to put a pause in. Like when it gets to color 11, pause. And then you might have to change colors. But it's beautiful. I know it's beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up at 20% off for the design. I'm going to put, if you buy the design and the thread kit, it'll be 25% off. And it's a lot of thread. I'm just going to put the thread kit up at 25% off too. So we'll go ahead and...
It is 48 thread colors.
I think I already put the... and, I'm stitching this. I don't know where it's going to go. Oh, do you think your mom...
You know where that would actually go really well is in the guest room.
Yeah, maybe we could get rid of that dreary, like, scary painting your great uncle did.
I like that one.
If you, like, are into death and destruction. He's got a picture up. It's beautifully painted.
There are two of them. They're both gorgeously painted.
But it is, like, dark and, like...
It looks like Pennsylvania. Looks like Pennsylvania.
Is green and beautiful and lush.
Yeah, when the sun's out, like 3 days a year.
Okay, this looks like he painted it in the forest where there's no light, and it's browns and golds and dark. Like a monster's gonna get you. Like a monster is hiding behind the tree and it's gonna get you. That's what it looks like. And so I've been
the man cave is the garage.
I've been like, can we get rid of that
picture? And then literally, and it's beautiful.
This is beautiful.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
And
if you like,
but I'm in my man cave, and then the door swings open, and a box comes flying into the room, and then the door closes.
That box is there so you can break it apart and then get rid of it for me.
I don't throw garbage into your sewing studio.
Anyways,
I'm gonna start throwing empty pizza boxes in her sewing studio.
I didn't see that one, but I saw their flower. Does this tiling scene incorporate applique? I think it's all thread.
I think it's all thread.
It looks like it's all thread to me.
Does it tell you what the stitch count is? I bet it is 2 million stitches, 3 million stitches.
You know, I bet it's 1 million stitches. Like usually these, if you do the whole thing, it's 1 million stitches. Just be ready for that. Because I'm gonna be doing this, I'll film like the beginning of it, like how I set up, how I stabilize, how I cut.
So Angela, Andrews, just we're next Tuesday for your machine to arrive. I was gonna call you today. I didn't see that one. Flower dressings, tiling scene. What fabric do you use?
This one with backing fabric, I read it and it said, I want to say it said off-white or cream. And so I think this is the backing fabric right over here. So that's what you're going to want to use as your base. And then everything else is going to be stitched. So, and I haven't picked mine. I'm like, should I do grunge? Like grunge is always really fun. So I might do some grunge. You would think maybe they would do blue, right? So you'd have like a blue sky.
Well, it's probably in Pennsylvania, so it's gray. Wasn't Thomas Kincaid from Pennsylvania, actually?
Just ignore Patrick.
You know,
he's from Pennsylvania. You should say nice things about Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania to me is green and beautiful. Just like Connecticut, where I'm from. Not going to do tiling scenes. It is a lot of stitches. I gotta tell you, when I do a tiling scene, I do it on
Northern California in Placerville.
I do it on my multi. I don't know much about him. Is he? Because I just saw Elizabeth said you met him in person. Is he Is he alive?
No, he died.
Okay. So, yeah.
He died young. 54.
Did you see... Make sure you do your closeout order online. I've not looked at... Hopefully you're not emailing me because the allocations are happening online. I may do this. Okay, I wanted to show you something else that I'm going to do as a pre-order. It might be out. I haven't ordered it because I just saw it for the first time. I would like... I would do a blue off-white grunge. Is that a thing? Is there a blue off-white? A blue and an off-white? Is that what we're talking about?
I saw him many times on QVC shopping, and he didn't look particularly tall.
Oh, you know what? I was talking to Shelly yesterday.
I met him once and wasn't very impressed. He lived in Sacramento. He grew up in Placerville.
So I was talking to Shelly because when I see you on a Zoom class, I don't know why, everyone looks tall to me. So I was like, Shelly, you look super tall. Like,
well,
5'10".
You look as tall as me, almost.
5'10". Shelly, I thought you were 5'10", and then Shelly goes, I'm 5'2". And it strikes me out the most with Raven because I was like, Raven's super tall, and she came and she was like a little taller than me.
Gives me PTSD vibes. What?
Who's having PTSD? What's the No, I didn't. When you say the new Kimberbell Halloween project, is that going to be treats for my booze? Is it that one? Because we do every Kimberbell event. So if you're waiting for it, it will be up on the calendar. I think that one doesn't, I just haven't had a chance to schedule it, but I think that's going to be sometime in May is when we get that stuff. Am I answering all the questions? They're going so fast. Secret messages, like the
So my mom had Thomas Kincaid paintings on plates.
Illuminati?
Illuminati, yes, it is.
Is it Illuminati in there?
Who? The messages in his paintings?
Yeah.
Was he a Mason? I saw the Kimberbell.
It's so cute. Alice, we're doing it. And, support your local dealer, too. But if you don't have a local dealer and you want to do it, go ahead and...
Treats for booze.
It's on my list. Let me just put it to the top so you guys know it's coming. We've
actually had active conversations about how we're going to manage stuff. Jeannie's gone from Thursday to Tuesday next week. So our focus right now is getting the closeout sales put together and shipped before she leaves. We aren't really going to do a ton of stuff like the other day when Jeannie was like, let's do this. I was like, no, we're not doing that until you come back.
I'm going to do it so you can do it.
Nope.
So, yeah, we got to figure that. We're going to just work on getting all the orders that are out right now out to you.
And get through. It's been really busy. Like yesterday, I was with customers or on the phone until the end of the day dealing with sergers. So like the serger sale was a great success. Thank you. If you're interested in a serger, I've got that used Vibrant. I've now got another used Imagine. So that it's been awesome, but it's been busy. So our focus is getting through the serger sale, getting through the closeout sale. Then Jeannie's gone next week. I really need to focus on making sure that like some stuff that hasn't happened in our service department happens and that the store's been cleaning up. And then when Jeannie gets back, we're going to do some store closeout stuff. Like we're going to pick products that we're overstocked on and we're going to blow that stuff out to move some stuff out of the store. So it's coming.
I'm gonna put the Everett's Cottage. I'm gonna put that in one listing with the design and the thread kit, and there'll just be a drop-down window. So there'll be you can buy the design, you can buy the thread kit, and then you can buy both.
So Reno's pretty awesome, but don't tell anybody.
Reno's pretty cool.
Reno's in a
Don't you
sweet
remember
spot.
when we moved here? Like all my friends would make fun of me, and they'd be like, "Oh, is it like Reno 911?"
Well, so and I was
And it is
pretty
a
much
little.
I was consulting, and quite frankly, like I was talking to people all over the country, and they were all like, "Why do you live in Reno?" Because it had such a bad reputation. And what's funny now is people are like, "I hear Reno's awesome," and I'm like, "It's all right." Reno's pretty cool.
Yeah. I got to figure out where I can cut and paste that thread list. But
I was wondering if my 8x12 hoop is in.
Pam, your 8x12 hoop has been here, and I think I emailed you. I filled
year
yours first with that last group. It was filled like first. So it is here. And if anyone ordered an 8x12 and hasn't heard from me,
oh yeah, there's a big hunting
it,
community here.
Reach out to me. And we'll also, when we know all the people that pre-ordered their hoops, when we know that is done and filled, then we'll put the rest of them up. And you're not going to get the Christmas pricing because that was just crazy. But it'll still be...
We're like, why did we do this? Why do we do this to ourselves?
But it'll still be an amazing deal.
So yeah, there is a big hunting community here. And you better like sage.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to show you, because I saw it and I was like, oh my goodness, that is so ridiculously cute. And I'll do a pre-order for this too. So I'm not even, I don't want you to be like hating on me. I'm not even a Winnie the Pooh fan. He's okay. Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Piglet, Igor, they're okay.
Don't you ever say that?
Igor?
About Mickey Mouse.
It's not Igor?
Eeyore?
Yeah.
Igor is this.
Freaking stuff. So, I saw this though, and I was like, oh my God, that is so cute. I want to stitch these. I mean, I'm a fan just because of these designs. So OESD, I know you have built-in designs if you have a luminaire, because I stitched those and they're super cute and I love them. These are adorable. So this is OESD, and I'll put this up today too. You want to see it?
Yeah,
Okay, look how cute these are. So I printed out the whole thing because I'm like,
Adorable.
They are so cute. So this is going to be a new design. I think this is coming out. It's not out yet. So we'll do this as a pre-order. And if you didn't know it, they're doing all of their designs. All of their designs are now shipping on a USB. Isn't that so cute? So if you love Winnie the Pooh, or you know a Winnie the Pooh lover, or
I wasn't
oh my
like,
God,
I liked
at-
Winnie the Pooh
look
when
at
I was
this
a
one.
kid.
Nobody can be unshared. Nobody can be unshared by a balloon.
Yes, that makes sense.
Unshared?
Yes.
People,
Balloons
like
are
balloons just
purple.
make you happy.
I'm just learning English today. Isn't that cute? Why didn't they just put everyone can be cheered by a balloon? I don't like the double negative.
There's probably
It
some kind
confuses
of licensing or something.
They're so cute. So I'll put that up too. If you love Winnie the Pooh, this is a collection for you. And we'll put that up at 20% off. That's also, I think, a pre-order. I don't think it's out yet. So cute. Okay. You have anything else to talk about? Should we just get to work?
What about our giveaway?
Today's a giveaway day. We didn't even talk about
I know.
it.
I have a great question.
Okay. Here's the question. Patrick has a great question.
What happens when the USB stops working? So, I mean, Jeannie pulls all of her designs into a design folder
USBs
on her
can go-
laptop.
Yeah.
USBs do go bad. That's like, is it time to talk take-up lever?
Put it somewhere.
I
Don't
had
leave it on
somebody's
the
grandmother
USB.
basically drop an F-bomb at me yesterday.
She
'Cause
F-bombed you?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Was here with her husband?
Yeah, the super grouchy one.
Oh,
She
is that
like,
the one whose husband walked away?
yeah, the husband like turned around and walked away. Was like, I'm not getting involved with this.
What'd you do?
I just smiled and waved.
He was quite.
I'm like,
actually.
yes, it's your fault.
Patrick's always he's so pleasant.
So, this is just our friendly monthly reminder. Because it was like the first 3 people through the door had missed their
3
take-up level.
in a row.
In a row.
You need to
Everyone misses their take-up lever.
at some point.
At some point. Everybody. If you
Periodic
miss your
dust
take-up
will it.
lever, you're going to get bunching on the bottom of the machine. Your machine's going to make a knocking sound. The fabric won't move. Your needles will break. Your,
And if you don't know what the take-up lever is,
it is the lever that sits here that goes up and down on your machine.
move
So
your fingers so they can see it.
there's the take-up lever.
Yeah.
With the higher-end Baby Lock and Brother machines, the take-up lever hides underneath step number 4. The challenge with the take-up lever and the great frustration. So some people have seen the video on our YouTube channel where Jeannie and I talk take-up lever. We were in the middle of the pandemic, and we were dealing with angry customer after angry customer after angry customer that would drive all the way down here only to find out there was nothing wrong with their machine.
It was just the take-up lever.
And the reality was every single one of them had called the store and was told to rethread the machine and make sure they got it into the take-up lever.
Sometimes people don't know what the take-up lever is. So now you know. It's the metal part that goes up and down.
When you sew by hand, you put the needle through the fabric, you grab the needle, you take the spare thread out. That's what your take-up lever does in your sewing machine. If you don't do it, it leaves loops of thread on the bottom. Everybody argues. Everybody.
Yeah. they
Even
go-
some of
they-
you on the live stream
Some
will
of you have
argue
argued with us.
with me when I'm like, you missed your take-up lever. I know how to thread my machine. Yeah, I know you know how to thread your machine, but you messed it up. So I am pleading with you
to be open.
to be
the idea.
open-minded to the idea that your machine is not broken and that when you call us and we say, stop, rethread your machine, do needle up, needle down, focus on step number 4.
Peek in there and
Like,
see
look,
if it's in there.
make sure your thread is in there. And if you've done all of that and there's still a problem, bring it into the store.
well,
But
okay.
you can't be mad at me when you bring it into the store and I thread it and it sews beautiful.
So this is the thing too, because people go, I've rethreaded and rethreaded
Over
it
and
over
over
and
and
over
over.
again.
Yes, it absolutely
So-
applies to the Presto, to the Accomplish.
Yeah. The Accomplish has a take-up lever.
Oh, I was thinking the Accolade.
yes.
The Accomplish,
is
absolutely.
the PQ1500.
You missed the.
So what happens is they continue to rethread it and rethread it,
But they don't change
they
it.
didn't move. So what you want to do is before you rethread, if you have a needle down, needle up button, do that because it's going to put your take-up lever in the highest position. If you have a mechanical machine, roll it. Roll your hand wheel until you see that take-up lever in the highest position. When you thread it, make sure it's all. Sometimes people will do it and they'll pull it like here's the take-up lever arm, and they'll pull it so it's like here.
It
They
sits
never pull
behind
it.
the
They
eye of
never
the
pull
take-up
it
lever.
in there, and
That'll
it falls
actually,
out.
well, but that will actually sew for a period of time. So that's the argument that people make. Well, I sewed like 2 feet and it was fine, and then it happened. So the machine is broken. No, we just weren't threaded through the take-up lever. And so I'm just saying, if you're watching this, please be open to the idea of following our direction
and just rethread.
and just rethread.
The other thing is people think it's the bobbin. Because it's down here in the bobbin area underneath their fabric, they continue to redo their bobbin and redo their bobbin, and they don't do the upper threading, and that's where the issue is happening. So
Or like you said, they keep redoing the upper threading, but they haven't changed the
haven't-
problem
they
because the
haven't
take-up
fixed the
lever,
position.
the take-up lever needs to be all the way in the upright position, and If it's not, it can sit behind the take-up lever or it can miss it completely.
Or it can fall.
And the needle can be in the same position twice. It's like a clock. There are 2 times a day where even a dead clock is
that's
right.
a good.
And so, like, some machines are programmed to stop when the needle is up, not when the take-up lever is up. And so the needle can be all the way up. People look and go, well, my needle's there, my threader worked, therefore I was in the correct position. If your machine has a needle up, needle down button, you have to hit the needle up, needle down button, because that button is programmed to the take-up lever. The take-up lever is all the way down. The take-up lever is all the way up. And so it just was one of those days yesterday where the very first customer was definitely somebody's grandmother and literally dropped an F-bomb at me because she didn't like my response.
Because he rethreaded it and sewed perfectly.
The second customer came in and immediately described a challenge. And it was funny because as she was leaving, she was open to the idea once we sewed for a while. And then the third customer, she was like, well, let's see if the third customer was a vacuum person. But the fourth customer was indeed a miss the take-up lever. It is 80% of the phone calls and the people that walk through the door thinking their machine is broken.
And they'll go, it was sewing just fine. And then all of a sudden, because you changed your thread and missed the take-up lever. So it was sewing fine because you had it in the take-up lever. And then you changed your thread.
Or it sat behind the take-up lever.
And then it started doing this, and people come in because they don't know how to fix it. Just rethread.
Breathe and rethread. I think part of the challenge is by the time people call, they're so frustrated.
Yes.
And like, I get it. Like, if every time I went to ride my bicycle, my chain fell off, I'd be upset. But I'd also look and try to figure out what I was doing to fix it.
Well, they try to do that. But you have to be
you have
open
to do
the
something
idea
different,
that
though.
It's the take-up lever.
You have to do something different.
I did a demo. It's probably like 6 months ago. But I went to sew.
Me, right?
Yeah, I went to sew, and I don't know why. You know why I didn't think? Because I'm like, I don't miss the take-up lever. and I went and got Patrick. I go, something's wrong with the machine. It's not sewing right. And he walked over and he looked in my take-up lever. He's like, oh, you missed the take-up lever. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Why didn't I just rethread and go to take? I know what that sound is when people come in and we go up to the counter. I know that sound. Anyways, we all miss our take-up lever. Be open to that. And that'll save you a drive down to see us.
Okay, so before, when my Altair cut threads, there were no leftovers. Now it has so many leftovers.
Are you getting all those little itty bitties?
So clean it. Because sometimes the blade is just really dirty. But essentially that means that by the time the machine has pulled enough thread to cut, it's actually pulled a loop of thread in, not like one thread. Little cut threads. So we've seen that before. We know how to fix it.
So what causes it? Can you tell me?
Or
no?
It depends upon the machine, and there are a couple of causes. But what it means is normally it pulls a single strand of thread across and the thread cuts. It could mean that the blade is dull and that the cutter allows you to pull enough thread through that the thread has actually looped, and then it cuts both sides. And now you've got the end of that loop of thread that's being cut. Clean your thread area. Suck, don't blow. Don't use compressed air, and be gentle in there. There are those piles, and we've talked about that in the last couple of weeks, that you want to leave in your machine. Giveaway. What's our giveaway this morning?
Oh, should we do something awesome?
So that might be like a replacement of a blade. There's also, it's possible that at some point something jammed and that the arm that pulls the thread across can bend a little bit, and that'll also pull loops up to be cut. So what are we giving away?
I I made it through half my emails. If you sent me something yesterday, I went through like a lot this morning, and I didn't get a chance to go through all of the email. I had like a lot of emails yesterday, and sometimes they require me to do certain things. So Linda, I just changed that for you. So that's done. Let's give this away.
Are we giving one thing away? That's a good giveaway.
We're going to give this away. Okay. This is, it's heavy. You have to pay for shipping. Just keep that in mind. But this is the totally tubular hooping system. And this is from Dime. And don't forget, we have that Dime event coming up on the 19th, which is going to be next week. So, and it's called the Scoop on in the Hoop. And they're just going to go over like in the hoop embroidery. But this is amazing. Totally tubular hooping station. The totally tubular hooping station holds a hoop in place while accurately positioning garments, fabrics, bag, totes, and more. The non-slip surface provides a sturdy foundation for small to medium-sized hoops. The unique interlocking modular system elevated platform allows tubular items to easily slip over the hoop. Works with snap hoop, monster, and standard embroidery hoops. Easily slide tubular items. And you could use this for other things. Doubles as a pressing station with the wool pressing mats. So, so if you look down here at the bottom, this is what's included in it. And it's nice because it's tubular, so stuff can hang here to the back. So this is going to be our giveaway, along with, I think this, okay, we're going to give away these two.
This is like a huge giveaway day.
This is a big giveaway. I want that. I know somebody came in, well, it was Debbie, and Debbie's like, I'm going to channel my inner winner. Hasn't been working yet, but, but you know how many people win stuff and they go, this is the first time I've ever won anything. So we have a lot of you on there that don't always win, but don't give up. Hopefully this will be for you. This is going to work with that, and you don't have to use this with that tubular hooping station. You can just use these mats individually. So if you were going to go to a retreat and you just want to take an itty bitty with you, or you want to use this one that's in the back that's going to be a little bit bigger, and I don't even know what the retail value of this is. Are you looking it up right now?
$100.
$100 for the hooping station, and then the mats are probably like another like.
I think the mats are probably $60 or $50.
Something. So this is a big one. Don't forget, you do need to pay shipping
if you're
for
out
the
of state.
item. Yeah, if you're out of state, you have to pay the shipping to get this to you. But these just slip over the like hooping bar. You can just do that, or you can just use them individually. Who doesn't love wool mats? Everyone should have a wool mat. If you don't have a wool mat, get one.
Okay, so here's how the giveaways work if anybody is new and watching. So the giveaway, basically we ask a question. You need to answer those questions in the comments, which will be right down here after the live stream ends. The chat that's occurring on this side of the live stream right now is not where you answer that question. The live stream has to end, and then you can answer that question. And if you're out of state, you pay the actual shipping, or we can combine shipping with existing orders, something like that. The other thing too is if you want this stuff and you don't win, buy it at our Dime event.
Yeah, because they'll give you
a
a discount.
They'll give you a discount that we get credit for the sale. I mean, we can always order it for you too, but it's a great time to do it at a great,
they'll send it to you
at a great
they
discount, free shipping, all that stuff. So, question for the day is based upon Jeannie's story yesterday, because I actually loved your story about
my first machine,
your first machine and your first sewing project. So, and I've actually really enjoyed like the questions that aren't geared towards like helping us out at the store to figure out like what we're doing and what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. Although those are helpful too. I really enjoy kind of the community-based questions too. So the question to be answered in comments, which will appear down here once the live stream ends. Remember to like our video, hit the thumb button, subscribe to our video, hit that subscribe button, and then hit that little bell icon. That'll help you see more of our content, sew-alongs, demos, stuff like that. But the question is, tell us about the story behind your first sewing machine.
Which, lots of people can.
It's
tell
like,
us that.
well, and it's like, so many stories about my dad bought me this, or my husband bought me this, or I bought it,
or
and this
I
is how
bought
I did it.
I got my first job,
and so, but
I did
so
like a
crafty.
layaway.
Remember that this is not to be answered in the chat where you are now. When the live stream ends, answer it in comments down below. And what was your first sewing project? Tell us the story about your first sewing project. So this stuff has been really fun.
I have, so you know what?
I need to get to work. So
okay, we have to get to work. But I did have, and I think Carolyn, you asked is the pressing mat come with, the pressing mat does not come in the box with the totally tubular hooping station. It's an additional purchase, but we're going to be giving away both to whoever wins, and we'll have something else. We'll have another giveaway for whoever answers and doesn't answer the question. We'll have another giveaway for you. But yeah, what a score, right? So, I have a featherweight that I absolutely love. Somebody called the store and they were like, I have a table for the featherweight. It's the card table, and it has like a little slot that you put the machine in. And she was like, do you know of anyone who might want it? I was like, I want it. I was like, really? And so I drove to her house. She gave me the table. So I have the table at home. And on the back of it was a index card. And on the index card was the whole story, like, I got this as a wedding present, and this was the year, and it was just like, it was so sweet that there was this history that was written with the table.
That's amazing.
It just made it like more meaningful. But a lot of people will come into the store, and when their machine dies and we can't do anything to fix it, we go look at another machine. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, do you have a lot of great memories with this machine? And they'll tell me, when they got it, how it was the first thing they bought, like when they got their first job, it was the first thing that they had purchased, and how they did a layaway with it, or it was the first thing when they turned 16 that their parents bought for them. And it's just really...
I have one that has the purchase receipt with the layaway handwritten on a piece of paper.
I love that, because we'll get machines and they'll come in with the original manual, and you'll see there'll be a receipt, and it'll be like, how much they paid for it and where they bought it. And it's really sweet, because, we have relationships.
Was a big deal.
Buying a sewing machine was a really big deal for a lot of people. And back in the day, a lot of people used it to make all their kids' Halloween costumes and their clothing for work and all of those things. So let's hear your story. We're going to get to work. Have a great day. Be creative and make something incredible. I'm going to go through my emails. If you haven't heard from me yet, like Joyce L., I owe you a phone call because I owe you that thread. I haven't forgotten about you. And